there is one fallacy, one pitfall that plagues people's mental games at all levels. Now, it ties into many different psychological concepts, but fundamentally, the biggest problem for people is that they think that there's a one-size-fits-all approach to their mental game, to performance under pressure. Now, what I mean by this isn't just that we're different as people and we need different approaches. For example, you could be cool, calm, and collected like Armada. You could be totally zoned into the moment the way J-Mook is. You could just be wild and let the emotions flow like Hungrybox does. Now, there's truth to the fact that we're all different and we need different approaches based on that. But there's even more nuance to it than that. What you really need is to realize that there are different situations that will require different mentalities. So just think of a whole bunch of different situations that can come up. You could be playing well. You could be playing terrible. You could be playing okay. You could be playing someone good. You could be playing someone bad. You could be playing someone aggressive. You could play someone campy. You could play somebody who's playing a way you've never played against before. You could be playing against a good friend. All of these things could require really, really different mentalities. So the fallacy that people often have is thinking that because something worked well on one day, that it'll work well the next time they sit down at a setup. Maybe they listen to a song and help them get locked in, but maybe your mood was totally different that day. Maybe the circumstances that you're playing under were really different. It could have been a loud venue, a quiet venue, and so on. So you're not going to always be able to get in the zone the same way. So it's great if you could have, like a song or a playlist that, locks you in, that triggers you to get into the right headspace, but there could be an inconsistency to that. So realizing that the inconsistency of life, the variables are going to affect how you're going to have to lock in. Context is all really important to realizing why you succeeded and what you might need to do to succeed in the future. So the first thing I recommend trying to get attuned to is if you as a person are better at playing, trying to block everything out, or just let the environment exist around you and be part of it. I think for me personally, I play better if I try to block it out most times. I think most people are like that. But I think at my absolute peak, I don't do that. So if I could play without headphones, I think that would be best for me. But usually it doesn't work well for me. Now, I think most people are this way too, where external things just tend to be distracting. But a lot of the best players and their best runs, Mango, J-Mook, Hungrybox, PewPew, I think those are people who were just really in the moment and locked in the environment, the feel, the energy, all flowed with them. 2, I would say try to figure out if you want to play as calm as you can as a person, or 2, if you want to just vibe and maybe let the emotions just fucking surge. So I think usually people who are calm make better decisions, don't panic, and make fewer technical errors. But it could take an edge off of your play. Moreover, if you're unable to calm yourself, just a fruitless endeavor to try to calm yourself because you're not going to be able to be calm, it could actually be more frustrating and make your play even worse. So sometimes, being calm is great, but other times, especially even if you're someone who wants to be calm, if you can't calm yourself down, don't even try. Just flow with the energy. One more note about playing calm or not. I think a lot of times people who are more brain-based rather than feel-based, these people will prefer to play calm because it lets your brain work and it's most logical, reasonable flow. However, if you're playing somebody who's really fast and rushing you down, these players are usually more feel-based, and you actually can't think fast enough to combat this. So this is a situation where maybe not trying to calm yourself down and maybe just flowing with your hands and what they want to do and your implicit knowledge might actually be better. All right, so the last point I want to just say is that, even if literally in one set that same day you were playing great and your headspace was really good, let's say it could have been a fast spacey and they were playing with the fast pace of play and you were keeping up with them, just flowing great. What if your next match is just like a slow player who plays really conservatively or methodically, like a floaty, a Jigglypuff, who's just going to really slow down the pace of play? It would be really naive to think that that same physical state, that same mental state, that same game flow from a previous set is going to make you play well in the next set. So the overall point here is that You want to have a flexibility. You want to be attuned to what you need to do to win, and you want to get yourself into the zone that's needed for that particular match against that particular opponent, which isn't always straightforward, and that's why tournaments are learning experiences, and you can experiment with many different ways of trying to lock in. Sorry that the overlay was so fucking ugly in this video. Hard because all the clips have different overlays themselves. And sorry to my man Assad over there for me giving him this little stray. Just probably my favorite competitive melee moment, even though it didn't work. I feel like it does kind of embody what I was saying in the video. So yeah, click those like and subscribe buttons. I'll be back soon.